friends, it's just Martine and welcome to the start of the Sims Readathon. This is a month-long readathon created by my friend Ashley. I'll have her channel linked down below. There are a bunch of co-hosts, but I'm on Team Newbie, which is led by my friend Kayla. I'll have her channel linked down below. And I'm planning on doing several vlogs for this, vlogging all month long. Hopefully we're gonna get a ton of reading done. Here on my channel, I like to do lots of different secret TBRs and challenge videos and such, so I don't always love to tell you exactly what all I am reading. And I'm going to be a bit mysterious this month, but don't worry, I won't necessarily let it affect you. But very simply, I have one main goal this month, and that's to read this book, because technically, it fits every single prompt on here. I'm going to read more than this book that fits these prompts, and I'm going to tell you about a lot more books that fit these prompts. But the number one thing I'm going to promise right now to read as my TBR is this book. It's the 5th Kingdom Keepers book, and it is a reread. It's over 500 pages. It's told in multiple perspectives. It features a romance. It's all about a trip, and it also takes place partially in a different country. It features animals. The main characters are famous. It has fantasy or magical elements, and it's a middle grade, so it's in an out of comfort zone genre for me. But I am planning on reading other things that fit these. For instance, for a book featuring romance, I checked out The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. So we've got lots of different stuff going on, but I wanted to open up the vlog and say, welcome, let's do it, Sims. To start off my reading for today, I got just past where I had been the last time I kind of soft DNF'd Kingdom Keepers 5, and I already have so much footage for that video. It's exhausting to make the reread videos, but so fun, even though nobody cares about what I'm saying in them, but it's so fun, but a lot. After literal months of delaying my hold, I will finally be starting Lovecraft Country today while I draw pixel art. I just finished The Power of Goals, which was like a 39-minute read for me. I gave it 2 stars. It didn't say anything new, but I did appreciate that there was a section included about failure and quote-unquote ensuring your goals and dreams, but nothing too special, but a quick read. It also did not fulfill any of the prompts for this. I mean, I guess you could count it as out of my comfort zone for the Team Newbie prompt because it is a nonfiction. Good morning. It's a little past 11 on Wednesday, so February 2nd, the second day of the readathon, and I just finished my second book, Lovecraft Country. Read it between like yesterday and today, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. A couple things. One, it is written by a white author, so there's that, not from an own voice's opinion, but I was really touched by his depiction of how people treated the Black characters in this and made it very clear how unsafe the world is for people of color and how uncomfortable the world is for people of color. So I appreciated that. The more fantastical elements of this really didn't click with me as much. Overall, an okay time, and really the depiction of life as a Black person in America was, I thought it was incredibly impactful. It is arguably the perfect day outside, 75 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, and lots of sunshine. Love it. Historically, it takes me a very long time to make my Kingdom Keepers reread videos, just because I have to stop so often while I'm reading. So anyway, for today's reading session, my goal is to get from 11%, where I am now, to 25%. Let's do it. It's Thursday morning, and last night I finished another book. I finished Khan Academy. Originally, I was like, this doesn't fit into any of the prompts, but I think I'm going to squeeze it to make it fit into the superstar prompt, which is to read a book with a famous main character. And there are a couple of reasons I'm fitting this in. One, some of the con men involved in this book are like the top con men. 2, there are lots of really rich kids in this book, and I'm counting them as famous. But anyway, I gave this book 3.5 stars. It is a fun time, but it is a YA con book, so it's not like the craziest thing. I mean, don't expect the levels of intricacy in like even another YA book that I can think of that involves a con or heist is Six of Crows. Don't expect that level. It's a lot lower level than that, but it's still fun. It's about this guy who fakes his papers into this really elite prep school. When he gets there, another student figures out his secret because she is the same secret and she doesn't want him around, and so they challenge each other to this bet wherein they're going to try to extract like 50K from the richest and meanest kid in school by Thanksgiving, and whoever loses is going to leave the school willingly. He starts setting up a regular like online gambling heist that his dad created, and things just go from there. And there were a couple twists that I wasn't anticipating, so that was fun, but nothing truly like mind-blowing. I appreciated the evolution that the main character went through. Other than that, it was just a fairly typical, good, fun time. Happy Friday, I'm halfway through Kingdom Keepers, and now I'm going to switch to another read for a bit. It's mid-afternoon this Friday, it's lovely outside, and I'm like 70% of the way into The Heart Principle, which I'm reading for, I forget which prompt it is, but like the name of the prompt, but the prompt itself is to read a book that features romance. So I'm reading that. I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm hoping to give you some thoughts after I finish, hopefully today. I just finished The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, and I gave it 5 stars. At a point about 80% of the way in the book, I didn't know if I would be giving it a 4.5 or 5 stars because I loved so many things about it, but there was just too much of a certain type of scene that happens in romance books, and this was a romance book. I don't like to read them, and there were too many for me. However, then I shed a singular tear at the end of one of the chapters, and I knew I had to give it 5 stars. And then I read the author's note, and I knew I had to give it 5 stars because Helen Huang in the author's note talks about how difficult this book was to write for her, because out of her books so far, this is the one that's most about her experiences and has the most of her in it. And you could tell. I haven't read The Kiss Quotient, but I've read The Bride Test, and you could just tell that this one was more for her. It was so good. It was so good. There were so many things that I loved about it. I loved all of the discussions about consent, what consent means in like a partnership and in a relationship. Loved the love interest like so much. He was everything. He was so nice and so supportive and just exactly the right type of person for her, especially after her last boyfriend. I enjoyed the main character. I didn't personally understand some of her struggles, but there were some parts of her struggles that spoke to me. And it dealt with topics about like being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and the stigma against therapy and stigma in Asian families, and about compulsions and difficult thoughts and getting stuck in patterns and reaching the worst of yourself. And the reason I teared up is because of watching somebody be loved at their lowest and knowing that feeling and remembering being at a really low point and being loved anyway. In case you don't know anything about this book is about this woman who plays for a symphony. She's a violinist, but she's taken a leave of absence because she recently got internet famous, and ever since then she's had a mental block on her playing where she never makes it through the end of a piece. She has to go back to the beginning over and over again if even the slightest thing is not perfect, and she gets stuck in loops, and the only way that she gets out of these loops is when an alarm rings to remind her like that she has somewhere to be or that like it's dinner time. And then her therapist suggests that she might have autism. I really focus on that as like a main part of the story. The relationship aspect is also part of the story. However, although this is a romance, it was really a story about self. And I loved that. For the romance part of this romance book, at the beginning, she's with this guy and they've been together for years and years and years, and then he wants to have an open relationship for a few months. He says like, so I don't have any regrets when I ask you to marry me, basically, which, red flag. So he starts sleeping with all these other women, and she is pushed by her friends like, maybe you should try to have a one-night stand. She's looking for a one-night stand. The love interest in this book is looking for a one-night stand, and they keep messing it up. And so like with her music, they keep going back to the beginning and trying again and saying like, this one didn't count, this one didn't count. And you see their one-night stand turn into something completely different. Lots and lots of great themes and plot points and characters in this. It was really good. And again, I read this for the prompt, hot date, book featuring a romance. It's Friday night. I have some other books I'm reading this month aside from the SIMS Readathon, and I finished 4 out of my 9 books already for the SIMS Readathon, so I'm going to call this vlog. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below, have you read any of these books? And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!